I'm back, and as you can see, there's a newer studio. So now we have the whole wall filled with our backdrop. And no, it's not a real brick wall. It is I don't know, just a fake backdrop. I don't know what you'd call it. You might be able to tell where the parts meet and stuff, but as you can also see, we got a new couch. So yeah, this podcast is going to be a lot more upbeat than the last one. Last one was more chill. It was more of a story time. Just kind of sit around the fire type deal. You listen to it and you enjoy the story of me. But this one's not going to be about me. I don't like talking about myself that much. So we got that podcast out of the way. Now we're going to get to the fun ones. I believe this is going to be my last one where it's just me talking for a little bit. I'm going to do me talking with certain topics that I want, but as well as having guests on. So let me just make sure you guys are in frame here. It's looking pretty good. So until I get a new camera stand, right now you're sitting on a stool, on a bucket, on another bucket. So until I get a new camera stand, you won't be able to see over here. You won't be able to see that armrest. So I get a camera stand, I'll be able to push it back further. But this is what you're going to have to deal with for now. I'm really liking this studio though. We got full LED lights around and we have it just on white right now to see me better. But I mean, shoot, I could change it to any color that I wanted to. But I don't want to mess with the camera. If you remember the very first podcast, actually, we had the blue lights going, and it was way too dark. And then the second one, we had only one chair. And we're not even done with the set. We still want to get real microphones and a podcast camera stand, and as well as a brand new camera. So we still got quite a bit of things to do. But as far as a kid that just started a podcast in his own house, this ain't bad. So I'm going to go back over to this chair. I like this chair better, but I love this new couch. Picked this bad boy up on Facebook. And actually, I think I can bring this closer, maybe. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Couple inches closer. Let's see what we're looking for. That's pretty good. That's not bad. So as I bring on guests, I'm going to max it out to be 3 guests. If I wanted to, I could do 3 guests, including myself. So that's why instead of just getting another chair, I just got a couch so that I could have 2 people or 1, so, or 1 giant person. You never know. You know what I mean? But this podcast, so I also got a new recording app, so I can actually play on my phone now instead of doing it through video. And so this podcast, this one's going to be a motivational one. And like I said, I'm sorry that the other ones were kind of slow, boring, whatever. This one's going to be more upbeat. This one's going to be exciting. And until I get extremely good at this whole podcast deal, I'm actually going to move this down here just a tad bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to play around with this stuff until I get super good with it. I want to bring on guests, mostly my friends, but as we grow, I want to bring on like real people, like actual lawyers, actual company owners, CEOs. And hopefully we can grow this to be big enough that we can have multimillionaires on the podcast. I really want to get it to that point. So we already got one. I'm kidding. But, so, like I said, got my new recording app. Let's see here. I already have a notes on what I want to do for this podcast. So I'm going to try out a new type of podcast, not just talking the whole time. I want to actually break it down to sections. So that was kind of my intro. Sorry for the long intro. Just want to explain the new setup we got. I'm loving it. This is super chill. I love the location. Black on black on black on black. So the way I'm going to break this one down, we're going to go intro, goals, what we're gonna talk about for the podcast, and then the outro and kind of finishing up a little bit. So we're going to do 4 sections with this one. So I already got the intro out of the way. So there we go. We already got one of the 4 steps. We're almost done with the pod. Now let's talk about goals for the podcast. This podcast is going to be about motivation and quotes and stuff like that kept me going and keep me continuously going. And I'm human. Literally 2 hours ago, I fell asleep on this couch because I was just sitting there brainstorming stuff. And sometimes whenever I brainstorm, I get so deep into thought that I literally just fall asleep. So that happened on that couch. I was literally just laying there 2 hours ago, not really wanting to do anything today because this week has been crazy and chaotic for me. I've been doing a lot of work. This December is going to be a really crazy week, and I have a couple Grinch things scheduled for this week. Today is Friday. I'm kind of slack and recorded the podcast a little late, but I'm going to get it up and edited by the time Monday rolls around. New podcast every Mondays. And we got a bunch of Grinch things. I actually have a Grinch gig tonight, my first one, so I would say I'm nervous, but I'm not. I've kind of done too many things to be nervous, to be honest with you. But there's definitely things that make me nervous. Like talking in front of massive crowds probably would make me a little nervous. Or before like track meets, those make me a little bit more nervous. But performing and doing business stuff and talking to adults, I've been doing that for at least 5 to 6 months now with this whole journey. But let's go to section 2. The goal for this podcast, I'm going to help you be more motivated and help you be more driven towards your goals. If you're starting a business, if you're trying to work out, whatever it is, if you're trying to get over a breakup, if you're trying to get through a hard process in mind, a deep part of your mind that you're trying to escape. And with me, honestly, my brain thinks so fast, so it's hard to get my words out. But yeah, if you're just struggling, this podcast should be able to help you out. And I love podcasts because they help everyone out. I can't wait till I get the guests on. I've been super busy this week, so I didn't schedule anyone to be my first guest besides Allison last week. But I want to get on guests because I want to hear other people's stories. I want to hear what they do and how they could probably help me in life with their advice. So that's the goal for the podcast. Help you be more motivated, be more goal-driven, and that's something everyone struggles with. There's a lot of people that just seem like they're too cool to be lost in motivation and stuff, and I don't know. You always see those billionaires on the podcasts and talking on television and stuff where they're just like, oh yeah, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I work till 3 in the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's dope. One of them being Dwayne Johnson. That guy's insane. And so is the other millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires of the world. But us normal Joes, everyone starts off with having lack of motivation. So hopefully this podcast will help with that. So let's roll into what motivates me. On my camera roll, I watch TikTok just like most everyone does. But I don't watch, the normal TikToks of cringy stuff and memes. My whole motivation is a For You page of all motivational TikToks. So it's just like a clip of a cool movie and someone walking really slow, looking all cool, with cool music in the background with a cool quote in front of it. So that personally helps me. I have hundreds of those. I think I'm up to like 300 video quotes that I've saved off of various platforms, mostly from TikTok, that I save onto my camera roll. Here's what they look like. No way the camera focused that fast, but yeah, a lot of the stuff that I have on here is for my motivation. I also have things I've already accomplished. Like I have a picture of the boat on here. I have a picture of the RV on here. Those are things to whenever I'm scrolling through here, remember that I have those or had those, and remember that, I've done that and I've accomplished that. So that really helps me be motivated. So now I'm going to talk about the quotes that I like to watch. So we can just go through here and read a couple quotes maybe. Oh, actually, here we go. Rolling right into the first one. If I gave you $1 million, and I'm not a millionaire, just listen, hear me out, and respond in your head. You don't have to say it out loud. Just think in your head of what I'm about to say. If I gave you $1 million, would you let anyone affect your week after you got that $1 million? $1 million cash. And this is a quote I heard from a TikTok as well. No, I don't think you'd be bothered if you got $1 million that week. It doesn't matter if someone cuts in front of you. You'd be like, psh, it doesn't matter if they crash into me. I'll just buy a whole new gosh dang car, right? You don't get bothered by that. If you're a student at a high school or something, if a teacher chews you out, psh, who cares? I'm gonna come home to $1 million cash. Okay? So if I gave you $1 million, would you be affected for a while? No. You wouldn't be affected by anyone. You'd be unstoppable, untouchable. You'd feel so confident in yourself and just so cool. Here's the thing, though. In fact, I'll even make it 10 million. This is exactly what the TikTok said. I forget who it is. It's a millionaire or billionaire. I forget who it was. If I've made it $10 million, I gave you $10 million cash, right? You would feel invincible. No one could ever harm you. Now let's think of it this way, okay? If I gave you that 10 million, you wouldn't wake up the next day. You're dead, gone, out of there. Would you take the 10 million? I would hope you said no. Right? Life is more valuable than pieces of paper, So you went from 1 million, then 10 million. But the fact that you don't get to wake up the next day, you wouldn't take it, right? That money's poisonous. You take that money from me, and the next day you're gonna be dead. You won't wake up. You're not gonna take that 10 million. Hopefully you won't take that 10 million. And hopefully these TikToks help out people that are dealing with that type of stuff, kind of suicidal stuff. And I'm there for you. Actually, I'll check my camera just real quick because I'm going crazy here. Okay, we're good. Okay, because last podcast actually cut out a few times, so I might have to check that till I get a new camera. So what you're telling me is you're not accepting the 10 million because you want to wake up the next day, hopefully. So what you're telling me is just waking up tomorrow, just waking up, is worth more than $10 million. So why don't you feel that way whenever you wake up? You feel invincible? Why don't you feel like you just made $10 million, And that mindset is something I want to talk about on this podcast. I want to talk to you, even though I'm not even close to a millionaire, not even close to six figures. I'm starting off small here. And I've been working really hard, and I've made some money, but I'm not even close, not even morally close to where I want to be. But I do know I would lose all of that to wake up tomorrow. So what you're telling me is just waking up. It's more valuable than $10 million. So that's the mindset that I work on every day. I work on waking up and knowing that today is worth more than $10 million. And so I'm going to roll that one into another section here. We're going to talk about mindset here. A mindset is very important because a mindset means you're confident. And actually, pretending to be confident is actually being confident. You're walking past someone in the hallway, they're staring at you. Look right ahead, don't give a crap. They walk past you, you're like, you know what I'm saying? That's the mindset you need to have. That mindset, to me, is called the alpha mindset. And actually, in the last podcast, I had someone say that they wanted me to talk about an alpha mindset. That's what an alpha mindset is. Someone that doesn't get bothered by anything you do. I'm not going to get bothered if you dislike this video or if you put a mean comment in. It's not going to affect me. Because I just got $10 million. That's the mindset I have. Obviously, I didn't. But waking up and living the day is worth more than 10 million. So in my mind, I feel like I just got $10 million. I'm invincible. It doesn't matter what you say to me. Obviously, if you say something mean enough, it's going to get to me. But the way I work, I stay mad for about an hour max. If someone, does something to me and it's big enough, I'll be mad for about an hour max. And then I'll probably just forget about it because I have a bad memory. So that's kind of the mindset I have, is the alpha mindset. Being confident is one of the most important things you can do. And working out can build confidence. Making money can build confidence. Conquering your fears can build confidence. Doing something you've never done can build confidence. Mastering something that you've done your whole life can build confidence. There's so many things that can build confidence. But something to keep in mind is pretending to be confident, like putting on that poker face and acting like you're confident, never backing down from a fight mentally, shows confidence. And a lot of people are too stupid to read people. I'm one of those that's actually pretty good at reading people, and if they're confident, if they're not. And from there, depending on what business action I'm taking, I can maneuver how I word things to make it sound good to them in a way. It's not manipulative, however you say that word, you know what I mean. It's not that, I can sense whenever someone's confident or not. But a lot of people are too stupid to realize when someone has a lack of confidence, if someone had a bad day. Because if you went out and you got $1,000 bonus from your job, you came home, you would be so confident. You would not literally care what anyone says to you that night. It would take a couple weeks after that, and probably immediately after you spend it, that if someone does anything, then that confidence is gone. So we got to work on that. You know what I'm saying? We got to work on that confidence here. And at M Empire, that's exactly what we do. And being confident is a really hard thing. Not really for me, but I know it is for a lot of people. And sometimes it is for me, and I'm not going to lie. But whether I show it or not is the thing. So we got to put on our poker faces, and we cannot back down at all to what people think. And I'm sorry if I repeat myself a lot. I'm just saying that is that. We got to have that confident mindset, even if we have to fake it. Fake it till you make it. That's a real saying. That's a legit thing. And people actually do that. So, right, we've worked on already the mindset. You've already heard the story of that your life is more valuable than $10 million. Hopefully you think that. And I want to roll into something else, a little bit deeper, a little bit darker here. If you are struggling with suicide or anything like that, I think my last video only got like 25 to 30 views. So the likelihood of someone that is depressed and suicidal viewing this is pretty slim. But if that's you, if that's out there, just know that literally what anyone says, whatever you say to yourself, like, you can legit do anything. And I know that everyone says it. It's so cringy. And I hate it whenever people say that. But if you really break down what life is, you really could do anything. People that are great chefs just work at chefs their whole life. And I know what you mean. I'm sad. I don't know what to do. I don't have any skills. I dropped out. I did blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is start. Just get up, get off your bed, get out of the sheets, get off the couch, and do life. Literally do life. Whenever I first started the business thing, I was thinking about Do It Boys power washing. I was literally sitting up there in my living room with a stack of cards that I had to pass out to everyone in my neighborhood. This was about 5 months ago. I was so scared to do that. I was so nervous. And I just sat there for like an hour, not even looking at my phone, just contemplating even doing it. And after I did it, which I did build the courage up eventually, all it did, like, you're never going to feel comfortable enough to want to do it. That's the part of motivation that people don't understand. You're never going to wake up 5 in the morning unless you know something fun is going to happen that day. You're never going to wake up 5 in the morning and be like, let's go. No one does that. That's unhuman. The human body puts chemicals in your brain that makes you want to sleep after you wake up, because the human body likes to sleep more than it's awake, because the human body patches things that you've been breaking throughout the day. Like little scratches, little bruises. The human body loves to sleep. And so you're never going to feel comfortable enough to go after your goals. You're never going to feel comfortable enough to get off the couch. You're going to get off this video. And that's the thing. This is the thing with depressed people and suicidal people. All you're going to do is complain. And there is mental disorders that it's like physically in your brain you think negative thoughts. But if it's you and you're not actually from a doctor prescribed depression, but you just are sad some days and sad other days, like, we're all here for you. But at the same time, you can't just make a TikTok, crying your eyes out and like blaming life and blaming the world. There's so many hard things in life. Death in the family, losing hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars, losing, whatever, getting your phone broken. Like a lot of people deal with that stuff. I deal with everything on that list that I just named. And all it takes is literally just getting off the couch. Like, you're not going to feel comfortable enough to do it one day. You're not going to be, I'll do it, whenever I feel good about it. You're never going to just stand up and be like, I feel great today, I'm going to do it. On those days that you feel the worst are the days that you have to work the hardest. I have a little thing where it's called running away from the demon. It's where if you literally don't do anything that day, you're going to feel crappy about yourself. At least I do. If you're so down into a deep, dark hole that you feel good about yourself whenever you don't do anything that day, that's not really a good thing. But if you're like every other human where you feel horrible if you didn't do anything that day, that's called the demon chasing you. You have to work really hard throughout the day and run away from that demon so that at the end of the day, you can feel like you did something good. But if you're just sitting here doing nothing, playing on TikTok, watching your apps, playing video games, demon's going to get you. Your dark thoughts are going to get you. Your down negativity is going to get you. So you got to just do it. Whether that's mowing the lawn, doing the dishes, whatever. Set your phone down in your room. Don't look at it. Trust me. No one's going to call you. No one's going to text you. And if they did, it can wait. Trust me. Set your phone down away from yourself for at least an hour and just go do something that is hard work, doing the dishes, lawn mowing, passing out flyers, whatever it may be. Just do something to run away from the demon just for today and see how you feel. Okay? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Don't go home and act like you're tired because you just had a long day at school and you got to just sit there on your phone. That's not how it works. Depression is a demon that will always chase you if you do nothing about it. You have to outwork your demons and you have to be constantly doing something if you want to be happy. That is the secret to happiness. Everyone always says it. But to me, if you just run away from the demons for the day and you just work as hard as you can, at the end of the day, whenever you make a couple hundred, $10 even, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself and you're going to feel good about yourself. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's do just a real quick camera check. Uh-oh. The camera stopped rolling. Okay, sorry. The camera cut because the camera died. And I just realized it. So you probably didn't see the last 3 minutes of the video. Anyways, got the camera charged up. That to me only means I gotta get a brand new camera, which I'm okay with because the camera I'm using is the same one that Jasper has dropped 1,000,000 times. So it's on its last life anyways, so I need to get a new one. But that's besides the point. Like I was saying, you gotta run away from the demons. So that's that. I don't want to ramble on that topic too much anymore. If you are depressed, if you are suicidal at any point in your life, just do something to make yourself a better human, you know. And it sounds weird, and a lot of people are going to say get help, which I do recommend. But at the same time, just do something. You know, most of the time, a trend that goes on with depressed people and suicidal people, they usually just kind of lay in their room all day and don't do anything. So if you are feeling that way and you do see the same habits, that you're always on your phone too much, or you're, you know, once you get home from hanging out with your friends, you just sit on your bed and do nothing, you know, like if you're distracted, you don't have time to think about depression, and you don't have time to be sad if you're physically distracted doing a work. So you could be working out, but I love working out, not really at all actually, but a lot of people love working out because it distracts them, but you can only work out like an hour or two a day before you're like too tired. So I would definitely recommend working out, but at the same time, I would recommend working towards your goals financially. So it's really fun too. Like, it kind of sucks the first few months of starting a company or a business because it's slow, you're not making money. You'll have people doubting you. But the second things start picking traction and you start making the money that you wanted and your goals, and you start achieving those things that you always have wanted to be, and you're being the human that you've always wanted to be, you start to feel good about yourself. And depression definitely sticks around with the same people usually their whole life, and it like comes in phases, in and outs. But to me, if I'm distracted, I can't be sad that day or depressed, or, you know, I'm not suicidal whatsoever, but, you know, if you're distracted, you can't really be that, to me at least. So if that strategy helps you out, go for it. Just give it a try. You're never going to have a day that you feel amazing or you feel perfect. You just have to get off your bed, get off your couch, get off your phone, set your phone down, go on a mile or two walk, and just see how you feel at the end, you know? Or take 10 minutes out of your day to just lay flat on the floor. Don't lay on your bed, because that's your sleeping time. You got to separate your things, where you have an office, you have a bedroom, you have a meditation room. Like, you can't do everything just on your bed, because then you can't sleep at night because you're used to working on your bed. Anyways, yeah, please just lay on the floor. 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Listen to chill music, not sad music, chill music. There's a difference. Lay flat on the floor, looking up at the ceiling. Blanket over your legs if you're too cold or something. Just chill. Just think about life. Think about your problems and work towards solving those problems. So, because that's all life is, really. You get a bunch of problems all at once. You take a step back. You don't worry about it, and you don't stress it unless it's immediate, you know, problem, like someone's got, you know, your kid and they're going to shoot him if you don't do, you know, that's like way extreme. But most of the time, your problems can wait just a little bit, at least 10 minutes to just lay on the floor, relax, and think smart. You cannot see yourself in boiling water. You have to let the water settle and calm before you can see the image of yourself reflecting off the water. So if you're pissed off all the time, you're not going to make smart choices. So just relax. Take 10 minutes out of your day to just meditate, lay on the floor, chill music. That's all I ask, because I really want you to be successful too. I don't know who's watching this. You know, I'm looking at a camera. I'm talking to a camera. This feels so stupid to do, but I'm literally talking to a camera to send a message out to people. I have all of my monetizations turned off. I usually play music in my videos, so I'm making zero money from YouTube, and I'm not doing anything that would help me money-wise. This is all for you and all for me to look back at if I ever need my own advice. And again, I'm 16. I know what you're thinking. What does this 16-year-old know? He hasn't even experienced anything hard in his life. Double check your math there, because I've experienced a lot of hard things as well as you. Maybe not as hard. Maybe you haven't experienced as hard as things. You don't know what I've been through, and I don't know what you've been through. But together, let's just be judge-free, and let's just settle this and just work on our mental disorders together and just work towards our goals and get to where we want to be. And then we can die and be happy and live on, and you know what I mean? Whatever you believe after life, but you're here and you value waking up in the morning the next day more than you do having $10 million. So always wake up with that mindset. So I threw a couple of quotes out there too, if you caught any of them, but let's go through and read some of my favorite quotes here. I'm going to pull these up. These have brought me from anywhere between reading quotes before big sports events, before big business ideas, before, sometimes I need motivation as well. I do not wake up in the morning wanting to go power wash someone's house, DJ a party, be the Grinch, make a podcast. The last week I've looked on my phone every single morning. I lose money being in the stock market, and that doesn't feel amazing either. So just keep in mind, no one is straight W's. Everyone takes L's once in a while, but we're all working to make sure those L's, fade away. So I'm going to go through here, see if there's any of the quotes sticking out here. All right, so here's one. This one might be a little controversial. I've had a couple feedbacks from my last podcast, and I do want to just put out there, I'm not motivating anyone to drop out of school. I'm not motivating anyone to do what I've been doing recently. This is exactly what I've done in my life, and I'm telling you exactly what I do. And just keep in mind that all of the things I say are things that I believe, but you do not have to whatsoever. I could say this whole podcast and you could disagree on every single thing that I've said. That's totally fine. Stay in school if you don't have any backup plans or if you know you can't be able to do it. But if you have a goal and you know that you can achieve it and you know that you will work hard at it, I'm not telling you to stay in school, but I'm also not telling you to drop out. So I'm not living the perfect high road life. I go through struggles every day. I'm a human. I pee, poop, all the stuff humans do every single day. And I'm not even close to where I want to be, so hopefully you don't even look at me like that quite yet. But just know that I'm also human. I also struggle with day-to-day things. I also lose money. I also do things. But I chose a different lifestyle, and I've worked really hard to achieve it, and I've worked really hard, and a lot of the people that know what I do and what I make, how much money I make, they're the ones that will he did this one big thing and he's only made money off of this. Just know I've worked really hard to create a very successful power washing business, and we've done really good with those numbers. DJ business, it's all right. I mean, we've made quite a bit of money, but not where I even want to be. Flipping's where I make the most money, and I know that my family members know how much I made off that one. And just know that that is not where... it's where the majority of the money comes from, but also just know that I've worked really hard to be where I want to be. I started 3 businesses as I'm going to college for engine repair stuff. I still do high school. I'm not a dropout, by the way. Let me clear that up. I use Kickapoo's money to pay for a college education, but I do online school through Kickapoo, and I don't really touch that stuff as much. And so I still do schoolwork. I'm still passing. So just know I'm not on the school train, but I'm still in school, so I'm not dropped out. So I've worked really hard where I want to be, and it's finally starting to pay off, and I'm not even close to where I want to be. And I've had many days where I just sit in my car and I just have zero money. I think 2 months ago I had $7 in my account. Yeah. And I've had doors slammed in my face from door-to-door knocking. I've had people quit on me. I've had people not do what I've asked them to do. I've had customers complain. I've everything you can think of through business except being sued. That's something I'm expecting, and I wouldn't say I'm excited for it, but I'm prepared for it. So here's a quote. Yeah, I'm not even going to read the quote. But it says Harvard student, $100,000. I'll read it. An investment in formal education pays the best interest. That's a Harvard student. He makes 6 figures a year, so 100,000. Then Elon Musk. I didn't go to Harvard, but the people I hired did, and he's worth like 200 billion. So that's where I want to be. I've never cared about education, in my opinion. I have I have a phone for math. I have Google for English. You know, as I'm saying, like, unless they're teaching me exactly how to make money, and even the business classes at Kickpoo are kind of a joke, but it's whatever. Let's see if I got any more quotes. I hope you guys are liking this so far. You may see me struggle, but you'll never see me give up. That's another TikTok quote. Let's see here. Let me go down here a little bit. Success comes after you stop making excuses. I'm sorry, I haven't prepared this much as much. I haven't prepared on this subject as much, like the quote reading. I'm just going through and trying to find my favorite quotes. But don't call it a plan. Don't call it a dream. Call it a plan. If your dreams don't scare you, they're too small. So that's also another thing. I've told people my dreams. You know, I freaking want to own a cruise ship. A cruise ship, like the things that families go on vacation for, you know, every once in a while. Those things. I want a cruise ship. So there's one of my goals. So there's in perspective of how big my goals are. And a lot of people will be like, okay, well, realistically, that's kind of stupid. And I agree with them. But those are my goals, and I'm going to accomplish them. Maybe not the cruise ship one, because I haven't even tried to do the cruise ship one. But, like, just whenever people talk to you, okay, all right, I'm putting this phone away. Here's something to think of. Whenever you start doing glow-ups, and whenever you want to be successful and you change your mind, you change your ways, and you want to make a big change in life, this is what you have to do. Make big goals, and don't tell anyone except the people that you know for a fact will not laugh at you. Do not tell anyone your goals. And here's the thing. They're going to find out your goals, because whenever you start doing things, they're going to throw out little things that they say, and it's going to hurt, you know? Like, whenever I started a podcast, you know, people are like, oh, you're starting a podcast? Okay? Don't tell people your goals. And whenever you start achieving your goals, when people start seeing things that appear out of nowhere, they're going to start judging you hardcore. And they're going to tell it to your face sometimes. And a lot of the times it's your loved ones. And honestly, listen to them. But take it as advice. You don't have to do it. Whenever you're starting your business, you know, your parents are going to recommend this. Your parents are going to recommend that. Your parents are going to tell you this, and your family's going to tell you that, or your friends are going to tell you this. You get what I'm saying? Like, take everything into consideration, but if you think it's going to work your way, do it your way 100% of the time. You're always the one that's going to be right in these situations. So listen to everything people tell you, because sometimes it's really good advice. I've taken a lot of people's advices. I've listened to a lot of people, and that's kind of the hard part about business is you have to listen to people. Like, whenever I started a business, I would ask questions. You know, I'd ask my cousins, how did they flip their vehicles and how did they do car things? I asked my cousins how they started a DJ business. I had to do research on power washing businesses. I had to do research on podcasts. I would watch Joe Rogan podcasts, the Impulsive Logan Paul podcasts. I would watch all the podcasts you can think of and just get a rough estimate on how things are going to be done. And so you got to drop your ego whenever you're starting your business, and you have to ask questions, and don't be afraid to just sit there and listen. You know, you got a puppy dog eye and just be like, yeah, and just listen to their advice, because sometimes it's good. But if you don't think their advice is good enough, go with your heart every single time. Like, literally only listen to your yourself and take everything what people say into consideration, but you do not have to do anything they say. So, with that being said, my parents are both business people. My mom helps my dad with business, and my dad owns a business. And so, yeah, I kind of got a lucky start with like having people knowledgeable in the thing that I wanted to do. But at the same time, you still have to put in the work. Like, my parents didn't, but they could give me like thousands of dollars. And a lot of people would be like, oh, well, he got $1,000 to start a business. Well, you still have to put the work in afterwards to do the things. So my parents didn't give me money to start off with. They gave me advice, and they did help me buy the Corvette, the very first Corvette. We went 50-50, and before that, they bought me a golf cart, and that golf cart I modified out with my own money and sold it for a high price, sold the golf cart, used that money to put in for a Corvette. And it was a very cheap Corvette. The C4 Corvettes are only like $5,000. So, yes, my parents have helped me out a lot, but you still have to put in the work at the end of the day. So let's be judge-free here. You got to put in the work. Trump, let's throw him as an example. He got $1 million or whatever it was, a small loan of $1 million. Well, he still made that $1 million into $7 billion by doing the work. A stupid person would get that money and then spend it. Spend it at bars, spend it on drugs, whatever, you know. But a smart person would actually use that money to invest it and actually grow it themselves. So even if I have had things handed to me, or I have had things easy to me because I'm white, privileged, whatever you want to call it these days, I think all that's, you know, I still have had to put in the work. And I can say that I haven't had a lot of things handed to me, and I have had a couple things handed to me. So it's not me just backing myself up. I'm just saying that. So business will be hard if you decide to start it. So let's go and read my own quotes. So last time we read TikTok quotes. I keep rambling on, but that's the freaking point of a podcast. So suck it up. If you don't like it, swipe away. Watch your other crap. But I am going to read my own quotes. All these quotes I have made myself, or probably 10% of them are ones that I've heard and I've wanted to put on them. But I'm pretty sure like 80 to 90% of these are the ones that I've done. So I'm going to read these. There's 31 of them. And the cool thing about quotes is sometimes you're like, oh, that was just a bunch of scrambled up fancy words. That's going to do nothing for me. And in some cases, that's very true. But in other cases, maybe someone will see this quote and like it. You may not see a quote you like. You may see a quote you like. So stick around. This podcast is almost over. I'm going to finish with these quotes, and then I'm going to do a little bit more explaining. And then we'll head out of here, and hopefully you've taken at least one thing from this podcast that will help you with motivation. And remember, stick in your head that this podcast is about motivation and alpha mindsets. So just keep that in mind while I'm reading these quotes. The older you get, the sadder you get, unless you find something that makes you happy. So back in the day, you'd watch Scooby-Doo, you'd watch Phineas and Ferb, SpongeBob. That would be enough to make you happy. Food would be enough to make you happy. But the older you get, the more you get, the less... Okay, how do I put that into words? Like, nowadays, if I watched Scooby-Doo, I would not be as happy as I was whenever I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So the older you get, you have to do more to make you happy instead of doing simple things. So kids, all they need is food and, you know, TV or an iPad, and they're happy. They're set for the rest of the day. But the older you get, the sadder you get, unless you find something that makes you happy, which in almost every case is a hobby. My hobby is working on cars and doing business. Your hobby may be painting and going on runs. Just find yourself a hobby. Even if you suck at everything in life, you only say that because your mindset sucks. And you're a Debbie Downer. Get off your bed, get off the couch, go do something, and find for yourself what you actually like in life. You don't know till you try, and that is the most legit thing ever. Some of the most famous ice skaters in the world, how would have they known that they were going to be a famous ice skater unless they frickin' did the thing? So until you go out in the world and actually try different things and do different things, you're going to be in the same place the rest of your life. You're going to be working your 9-to-5s, and you're going to be working your paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes those people are the most happy people. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but yeah, you'll just stay in the same place your whole life unless you take a jump to try something new. Even if it's new food, start off small. Try reading a book or something, Which also, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you want to do business, that's the best book to read. Next quote. Be who you are, not what people want you to be. Pretty self-explanatory. Make your day better than it was intended to be. Maybe you have plans to go see a friend. Well, in those plans, maybe you guys were going to go play cards or something, or watch a movie. Well, instead, maybe you guys could go shoot Nerf guns. Who knows? Just whatever you got planned today, try and make that thing 10 times better. The way to happiness is through your heart, not always love. It's about the hobbies your heart enjoys. Hobbies, again, find the hobbies. Just because a man has big muscles does not mean he's a strong man. Now, a lot of people are like, what does that mean? It goes back to confidence, people. It's a mental thing. Even though a man's jacked, he's still going to have bad days. I bet Arnold Schwarzenegger and, some of the biggest bodybuilders in the world, they had bad days. So even though a man looks strong, looks confident, it's not always that way. So always treat people the same. Sadness comes when you least expect it. Take a step back and find the positive. AKA step back and solve the problem that's making you sad. If school's making you sad, that's what happened to me. I fell into deep, dark mindsets while I was at school. And to me, it's not worth it. I don't give a crap. I could be homeless. If I'm not in school, I'm happy. And I've been a lot happier. I'm a very happy person. I don't show it. I don't smile as much because, remember, poker face. Confidence is key. Don't show your emotions. That's what it's like being a man. To have a strong relationship has to be 100% effort from both people, or it's not a strong relationship. Just a relationship. If you're dating someone and you're the one that's always starting the conversations, you're the one always planning the hangouts, I'm just saying. Being alone is not a bad thing. It's when you learn about yourself the most. You can't learn about yourself and you can't talk to yourself if you're always talking to someone else. It's the days that you sit alone that you learn about yourself and what you like most. Otherwise, you're too distracted on who you are whenever you're portraying someone you want to be whenever you're talking to someone. So no matter how you want to be, whenever you're sitting on your phone, sitting on the toilet, whatever it is, you're a different human than you would be if you're talking to someone. Whenever you're talking to someone, you're always putting on a demonstration, If I'm playing on my phone, that's all it is. Thinking to myself, thinking to myself. I'm showing zero actions. But since I'm on a podcast, I have to throw my hands around and keep it entertaining because you guys have short spans. Beating yourself up with negative thoughts is like digging your own grave hole. Don't do it. Don't do it. You always want to be yourself's best friend. The way to someone's heart is by opening yours. Pretty sure we've all heard that one, but I just like that one. Work for what you want, but be grateful for what you get. Life is a test of how hard you work, so go get good grades. That's all it is. Life is one big test. Go do your assignments, working, and go take the test, making the money. Choosing to do good or bad is the decision on if you will be successful or not. Same thing, bodybuilding. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you better be eating good food. If you want to be mentally healthy, stay off your phone. Talk to people. Do things that will make you happy. TikTok will not make you happy. It's a short thing. Second you get off TikTok, you realize how bad your life sucks. So go change that around. Do something that will actually make you happy about yourself whenever you wake up in the morning. Wake up, oh, I just made 10,000, Oh, I just made a lot of money. Oh, I got a business to do. Oh, I got sports to do, But you don't do that if you did nothing the day before. Oh, I get to watch TikTok today. Well, good for you. Do something that will make you happy about yourself. And don't take this as me, beating you up. Just take this as motivation, flip it around, do something positive with your life. If you're already doing positive things, good for you. I'm proud of you. A lot of people don't say that to people because they think people already say it to them enough. But I am proud of you. No matter how old you are or how young you are, what you've done in your life, I'm proud of. If you're still alive without killing yourself, I'm proud of you. Good job not killing yourself. If you want to be rich, do something people are too lazy to do. Phones, Google, shopping online. The richest people in the world, all they are just good problem solvers. And they sell their problem solves to people. Usually people are too lazy to go out shopping at the actual stores. Now we got Amazon. If your biggest opponent is yourself, you're doing it all wrong. Yourself should be your best friend. You should be your number one supporter. Oh, that's the next quote. Your biggest supporter in life should be yourself. Next one. Mental health can be your best friend or your enemy. If you have a really strong mindset, you're going to end up loving yourself more because you're just invincible. But if you have a poor mindset and you let people pick you around and push you around, you're not going to like yourself. Being hungry in the middle of the night is like success. You want it, but you're too lazy to go get the nutrients. Too lazy to go get it. You wake up and you're hungry. You're not going to want to go get it if it's in the middle of the night. You're too lazy. You're too tired. You're too comfortable to get out of bed. That's how it is with life. That's how it is with being successful. Too lazy to go get the nutrients. Alright, cut out again. I need a frickin' new camera. Okay, back to the quotes. If you're not working hard, you're not working. That sometimes can be true. I kind of said that one whenever I was young. But you can work smarter than harder for sure. But it's better to work hard and smart. If everyone was the same, life would be boring. People are made to be different. So go be different. Do not be the same person as everyone else. Don't be basic. It's actually easier to find people. It's actually easier to find partners as well, like girlfriends, boyfriends, if you're different. No one's going to want you if you're the exact same as every other girl or every other guy. No one is perfect, so don't worry about making mistakes. Worry about how you can be better next time. If no one had the bravery to build a bridge, people wouldn't be able to get over things. Don't wait for someone to build your bridge. If someone wasn't smart enough to build a bridge, we still wouldn't be able to get over rivers and stuff. But someone did it. And so don't have someone build your own bridge. Go do it. The difference between book smart and street smart is one will last you through high school and one will last you your whole life. The one that will last you your whole life is street smarts. Book smarts, it's only going to take you so far. So you might as well go out in life and find hobbies and do things that you'll be smarter at. Because you can't flip patties if you can only do math. It's better to have multiple skills as well, not just being able to memorize for tests and stuff. The way to live in this world is to have confidence. It's true. You're just going to be pushed around until you build the confidence to tell people no. I tell people every single day no. Hey Marshall, can you do this? Can you do that? If I did everything everyone wanted, I wouldn't be where I am. I love everyone to death, and I want to help out as many people as I can. But I can't do that if I can't help myself out first. Life is like ice skating. Some people get it and some people don't. But keep practicing and teach the new skaters how you learned. Like anytime anyone does any sport or any water activity like skiing or like water skiing or snowboarding or anything like that, like everyone, whenever they start, they always suck. So if you're good at that thing, teach people how to snowboard, teach people how to ski, be that guy or that girl that's always, being a leader and teaching people how you learned. Every day that goes on, you forget a memory you once pondered upon, but every day that goes on, a new one comes along. That one's kind of like a poem, you know what I'm saying? Will you ever be perfect? No. There are too many imperfect people that interfere with your perfectness, so don't worry about being perfect. Worry about becoming perfect. If everyone was perfect, there would be no car wrecks. But sometimes you're just driving down the road and someone just freaking sideswipes you and hits you or rear ends you. So no, you'll never be perfect because there's too many idiots and imperfect people, non-perfect people that will interfere with your perfectness. So if no one was on this earth, maybe you would be perfect, but you know what I'm saying? When it rains, it pours, whether that's good or bad. Sometimes I go months without making any money. Sometimes I'll have 1 week where I make quite a bit. It just depends. That's how business is. And to me, quite a bit may be a little bit different to someone else's quite a bit. I'm not a millionaire, so please don't make it out that I sound like a millionaire. I'm still learning just like everyone else, so I'm coming up at the same time as everyone else. So whenever it rains, it pours, whether it's good or bad. So, like I said, sometimes just everything in life hits you all at once. You get pulled over, a business fails, client cancels, you get sued, everything out all at once. When it rains, it pours, whether that's good or bad. Sometimes you get a girlfriend, you get a nice check, you get a bonus, you win. That's the good pouring. So just expect it and just know that no matter who you are, it's always going to rain and pour, whether it's good or bad. That one's my favorite quote. I say that to myself every single day because I go through things every single day that no 16-year-old would want to do. I have to talk to the big boys, the adults, the people that hire me, I have to go on stages sometimes, do DJing. It's just a lot of crap that I have to go through as a 16-year-old that I probably shouldn't be doing. I should be going out and partying. I should be staying in sports, enjoying high school, man. You can only do it once. But I want to fight like I'm in my 20s now, so that whenever I am in my 20s, I don't have to stress. I'll just be living a free life. It's worth it to me that way. That's how I think of my life. If you want to change your life, change your hour. Easy as it can be. If you watch TikTok every hour of your life, you're going to be a TikTok watcher. If you work out every single hour of your life, you're going to be a bodybuilder. If you do business every single day of your life, you're going to be a businessman. So literally every hour counts, like legit. So if you think you can take a little break, it's always good to take a little mental break, but it's also good to just stay focused. Every hour, it's going to add up. Okay. This one's more for me. It's kind of mean, but don't let poor people tell you how to live life. I don't really want to explain that one too much, but just don't take advice from people that don't do things. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't in NASCAR, but I was teaching a NASCAR driver how to be a NASCAR, don't listen to me. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm not like a business guy, so, take everything I say for a grain of salt, but sometimes my things help. So that is the end of pod 3. Those were both pretty long. I might even be past an hour, my first hour-long video. That will be so cool. I hope you enjoyed this one. This one's been a lot more light. It's been a lot of fun. So just remember the 2 things that we learned from this one as a huge recap. I do a lot of rambling on. Huge recap. 1, be confident. 2, don't listen to everything people say. It's really important to do number 2. Whenever you're starting something new, people are going to should in your yard. That's what me and my dad like to call it, should in your yard. That's whenever someone says, oh, you should do this, you should do that. That's called shoulding in someone's yard. So just know that people are going to do that because everyone wants to think they're right. So if you start a podcast, someone's going to be like, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. And always listen to them. Like give them the time of the day to listen to them. But just know at the end of the day, you don't have to do anything they say. That's what's dope about life. It's completely free. I live in a United States, so for the most part it is free. If you live in a third world country, try your best to move, I guess. I don't know. I don't even want to speak on that one. I'm not very, good with that knowledge stuff. But just know, not everything people say is a legit thing. Some people lie to you. I'll be honest, I'm not a liar at all. Like, I don't lie. I don't think I do, but a lot of people do lie to make themselves sound cool. For one, don't be that person. Don't exaggerate a story more than it is. If it is a funny story, it's going to be funny. Don't add on little things that are not part of the story. And just don't listen to everything everyone says because they could be lying to you. So just do whatever you want at the end of the day, but listen to everyone. And pretending to be confident is actually being confident. If I'm over here, that to me looks confident. I don't know about you. Maybe you're laughing at the screen. Who knows? That was confident to me. Making eye contact with adults and speaking to them with authority is confidence. And sometimes I have to pretend like I'm confident. I don't always go into meetings thinking I'm confident. I don't always go talking to a client that I'm confident, like whenever I'm about to tell them how much a job costs, they're going to try and talk me down every single time they do. And sometimes you wake up without confidence. It really just depends on how hype you are that day. So sometimes you just got to pretend you're confident. And to other people, it's going to look like you are. Put on that poker face. Thank you everyone for watching. This is pod 3. It's going to be posted Monday. Every single Monday we're going to post a podcast. Hopefully till the day I die, unless I lose motivation. In that case, I will rewatch this podcast and I'll be posting again. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully next podcast we will have guests and it will be about them and not me. I don't like talking about myself. So as you can see, we got a whole studio. And next time I might have a new camera, maybe have mics, maybe have a different backdrop. Who knows? I'm going to keep going until I have this freaking studio maxed out, until everyone's comfortable in it. So again, thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Have a good night or day, whatever it is. Yes.